All right, today we're covering 10.3 area of shapes. So there are 4 area formulas that you need to have memorized, and there's 2 that I'm going to be giving to you. Okay, so the ones you have to have memorized are the area of a rectangle, square, parallelogram, or rhombus is base times height or length times width. So, for example, with a rectangle, this is your base and this is your height, correct? A square, your base and your height are going to be the same number, right? Because your sides are the same. A parallelogram, your base will be down here, your height will be a dashed line going through your figure. And that is also true for a rhombus. You have a rhombus, your base will be down here, you'll have your height as a dashed line going through. Okay? So all 4 of those have the same equation, base times height or length times width, however you want to look at it. Okay? The area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. There are 3 triangles that you're going to see today as you're working through your problems. You're going to see right triangles. So for example, a right triangle, your base and your height are your 2 what we call legs, or they're your A and your B of what you would plug into your Pythagorean theorem. Of a regular triangle, your height goes through the middle, your base is the bottom. So your base would go from there to there. And the last one you're going to see today is an obtuse triangle, where your base is here and your height is a dashed line outside of your shape. So those are the 3 triangles that you're going to see today. I really hope for these 2 you have seen those formulas before. I hope that you have found the area of a rectangle and the area of a triangle. Okay, you were supposed to do it in like 3rd and 4th grade. Okay? Area of a trapezoid, I think, is 5th or 6th grade. Okay? So the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 B1 plus B2 times H. For a trapezoid, there's 2 directions they can have it. They can have it the normal way, where this is B1, this is B2, and then you have your height cutting through the middle. And the ones that people have been messing up on today are the ones where they turn it sideways. So now this is my B1, my B2, and my H is a dashed line going horizontally. So just be aware they might turn the shapes on you today. Questions on trapezoids? So the last one you need to have memorized is a kite or rhombus. So there's 2 formulas for rhombus. You can use this one when it gives you your base and height, or you can use D1 times D2. Does anyone have a guess what D stands for? No, not diameter. Diagonal. D and D stand for your diagonal. So, for example, if you have a kite and they bring these dashed lines through, D1 is one of your diagonals, D2 is the other one. So D1 and D2 are your diagonals of your shape. So those 4 are the ones you need to have memorized. We're going to use them here in a second, but is there any questions about the formulas in general? All right. The two you do not need to have memorized, I'm going to give you a sheet with them on them, is area and circumference of a circle. So if you have a circle, your radius goes from your center to your side, and for area, it's pi r squared. Sometimes they're going to give you your diameter. What is your diameter in a circle? Not all the way around, all the way through. And it goes all the way through the center of your circle. So for example, your diameter would be like this. So if they give you your diameter divided by 2 will give you the radius you need to solve these. As you are doing your IXLs today, on the circle one, when you get to about 60, please stop, because at about 60, that's where it changes into what we're learning on Monday. The other ones, it's around 80 where they change into the harder problems. Okay? Your IXLs, we're eventually going to go to 90 on these 4. So if you want to go to 90, if you get to that 80 range and you know what you're doing, and you want to go to 90, go ahead today, because you're going to have to get there eventually anyways. Yes? Yes. Not the worksheet, just the IXL part. The worksheet will be on Monday. Any other questions? All right. So find the area of the following. We have a square with side length 12. So if we have a square, what's our base and our height? So you have a square with side length 12. Good. Your base and your height would be 12 and 12. So your area would be base times height. So it would be 12 times 12, which is 144. You do not need to show the level of work I'm showing today. Okay? If you want to show less work than this, you can. The next one says we have a rectangle with base 15 and height 0.6. So I have a rectangle. My base is 15. My height is 0.6. The area of a rectangle is base times height. So it would be 15 times 0.6, which is 9. On a test, with this, you really only have to give me the last answer. Okay? If you show work and you have the last answer wrong, I can give you some extra points. But if you have it right and you give me that answer, that's fine. You have a triangle with base 10 and height of 2. What do you guys think is what everyone forgets with a triangle? You have to multiply it by 2, or divide it by 2, or multiply it by a half. And so this would be area is 1/2 base times height. So it's 1/2 times 10 times 2, which is just 10. So again, a lot of people forget that 1/2 part. Make sure you look at what shape it is, because eventually all of these get mixed in together, and you have to make sure you look at the shape and pick the right formula. A parallelogram with base 20 and height 7. Yes?
For the triangle, could you, and for the formula for it, could you just divide it by 2?
Yep, you can do base times height divided by 2 if you want. So you have a parallelogram. Your base is 20. Your height is 7. So your area is going to be base times height. It's going to be 20 times 7, which is 140. For a trapezoid, your formula is 1/2 B1 plus B2 times H. You have to add your bases before you plug in the rest if you're doing it on a cell phone. Okay, if you choose to use one of my blue calculators, which I would recommend, you can just plug it straight in, do 0.5 parenthesis, this plus that parenthesis times H, and you'll get the right answer. But if you try to plug it in like that on a cell phone, it doesn't work. Just so you know. So this is going to be 1/2 3 plus 5 times 3. So that's 1/2 times 4 times 3. Or, sorry, 8 times 3. Sorry. So your answer there is 12. This is my B1. This is my B2. This was my height. You have a kite with diagonal 5, a second diagonal of 15, and a side length of 6. What information in this is worthless? The 6, the side length. There is no side length when it comes to area of a kite. So side length, you don't need that. So you have a kite where one of your diagonals is 5, the other diagonal is 15. So the area formula for this is 1/2 D1 times D2, which is 1/2 times 5 times 15, which is 37.5. Okay, so you'll find in your pictures that they give you information you don't need. And make sure you analyze the picture and pull out anything you don't need and get rid of it. A circle with radius 20. Okay, so it gave us our radius right away, right? So your radius is 20. So from the center to the side is 20. The area formula is pi r squared. So pi times 20 squared is 400 pi. And it actually has like a pi button on your IXL today. So you type in 400 pi. You leave pi alone. Yep. So the pi comes from here. So pi is actually 3.14, correct? It goes on, but basically 3.14. So you can either do 400 times 3.14, but the IXL tells you today to leave it in terms of pi, meaning you're not going to change it to 3.14. You're going to leave it as 400 pi. Okay, pi came about because they analyzed a bunch of different circles and found that the ratio of them was pi. It's more in depth than that, but that's where pi technically comes from, is they did all this research and found this constant that they get multiplied by. But just know it's pi r squared, leave the pi alone, tack the pi on the end. That'll get you the right answer. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So this one, you have a diameter of 10. So what's your radius going to be? 5. So then your area is pi times 5 squared. So 25 pi would be your answer. Circumference of a circle with radius 20. So now you have to switch formulas. Remember, area and circumference of a circle will be given to you. So circumference is 2 pi r, which is 2 pi times 20 then. You can use what's called the commutative property, and you can do 2 times 20. What's 2 times 20? 40. So the answer to this one would be 40 pi. Do you guys feel like you need a circumference problem where you got the diameter? All right. So you have 4 IXLs, okay? The first one is squares and rectangles. The second one is parallelograms and triangles. The third one is trapezoids and kites. And then the fourth one is circles. Remember that S7, you're probably only going to be able to get to 60.